Darnell, if you were called to represent this man, do you think the streak would be broken?
Darnell could do it. Darnell could do it for sure.
Like Jennifer, I'm kind of concerned about their defense. What I have here in my notes is we should do it the old way, the way they did it 200 years ago. No refrigeration, no casket, wrap them in cloths like a mummy. And I'm not sure how that defense is going to work. What I am confused about is more and more of these cases are being tried before a bench. And typically, like I always say, if it's strictly a legal issue, then you go to the bench because the judge can look at the statute and make a determination. A case like this, if it's strictly a legal issue, then I'm not sure what hope they are going to have before a judge, because if it says you need a license and you don't have one, then guilty. And lastly, he said he's in the funeral services business, which means he gives support to other funeral homes. So I think he's trying to, as a defense, say they have the license and they're responsible, and I'm just doing what they told me. So I think as a defense, it looks like he's trying to slide out the back door that way.
Al, you've got a bench trial here. Judges get to hear a lot more than the jurors do. The judges get the whole picture, whether it's evidence that's allowed to be considered or evidence that's not allowed to be considered. So I think he'll have a much clearer picture of who this defendant is. Does that help him or hurt him?
Well, first of all, I want to just say that Darnell puts the word fun in funeral. So just keep that in mind. And this is like every comedian's dream to have this case going forward. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, you know, Your Honor, is it fraud, is it criminal, or just a grave mistake? You know, I mean, these are the kind of things you want to say. You know, it's like his and hers, and things along the line like, we'd like to magically get this thing to go away, abracadabra. You know, I mean, stuff like that. You can have a little more fun with a judge than you can with a jury. And in this case, I think the judge was a good choice. I think a jury would be incensed against this guy for what's been going on. I think it was a very smart move, since it couldn't be worked out, that if you're going to do it, go with a judge who's going to be, I mean, probably upset, but is not going to be as vindictive as I think a jury would be to hear what happened to this, you know, people that were basically delivered to the alumni dinner by this, you know, so-called undertaker.
Let me ask you, Jennifer, because this is a different kind of case than we usually cover here on Court TV. And, you know, let's presume that prosecution wins and he's convicted. Based upon these allegations, what would you see as a reasonable punishment or penalty for what these allegations are?
Well, I mean, definitely jail time for him. I mean, you know, just because the people were deceased and just because, you know, Al is making jokes about it, it is a serious situation. I mean, and, you know, sorry to pick on Al, but, you know, it's a serious situation. And for the people that lost loved ones and you know, had them treated in this manner, I think we have to, you know, show punishment here, because I just don't think it's something that somebody can get away with, you know, and he shouldn't be let off easy. I think as an example for other people who may be thinking about going back to the old ways and, you know, not having licenses to do this, I think maybe it would make some people think twice. So as a deterrent factor, definitely some jail time for him. And plus, I think there's a slew of other things he's accused of. I just think this guy was just, you know, just disregarding the law entirely and really needs to be punished for his crime.
Darnell, you're in the middle of the criminal justice system, defending people and seeing justice the way it's dispensed. What would be reasonable here if he's convicted?
I think, one, the court's going to immediately look at his past. And I'm seeing that he has 37 charges related to the same type of behavior. And I'm not sure how he's still even close to this business after 37 charges. But I think in this particular case, the question always comes, is it one of the worst things you could do is take a life. In this case, lives have already been taken. And the question is, how did he handle those lives? Did he strip these people of their dignity? And that's what we have here. So I would think that this would be a cap argument, not a straight sentence, where the judge is going to have to determine floor and a ceiling. and they're going to have to get a pre-sentence report done by a probation department and look at all of the backgrounds, and the judge is going to make a determination within a cap. But I would say the cap should be between 5 to 10, based on the fact that these are some serious felonies.